Hey guys, here I am again with another video, and as promised it's a CD collection video. The last time I did one of these videos was back in 2010. 10 years ago. Because I've been filming a lot of bands at gigs and festivals, and that's been my content since 2012. And I haven't really been bothering doing a lot of these CD collection videos anymore, because I don't know how popular they are still. But seems there's not a lot of gigs happening this year, because all the gigs and festivals have been cancelled or postponed until next year. Hopefully some still happen this year, fingers crossed. So I thought, I got a ton of CDs, I got some vinyl and tape, so I thought, well, I'm going to show off some CDs, and I'm going to start with this collection of the bands that got me into metal, the various genres of metal, starting with a classic. From 1970, this band started off as a blues band by the name of Earth, and they had another name, but I can't remember it. I'll probably remember after this. And they became one of the biggest bands ever in metal, and you can say that they have this doom sound to them, and you can say they're doom metal, and I'm not going to argue that. And of course, I'm talking about Black Sabbath, and I'm showing their second album, Paranoid. Now, this is fantastic album from start to finish. You know, with songs like War Pigs, Paranoid, Iron Man, Electric Funeral. This goes on. First time I saw them was 2012, and didn't film them, or I did, but there were so many people that I couldn't get good footage. And plus I just wanted to enjoy the band. And then I saw them again at Download the same year. That was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But this video is to show any newcomers into the metal scene, and you're not sure where to start. Well, I got 20 bands here, so you can pick which bands you want to get into. So here's Black Sabbath's Paranoid, and show a little bit of the inside, and yeah, it's a fantastic album. One of my favourites, and also their first one, Masters of Reality, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. This goes on with this band, with their albums. So, Paranoid by Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath. Next one, this is from 1980. Well, because this album, like I said, came out in 1970. Black Sabbath's album. That's 50 years. This one came out in 1980. That's 40 years. And the album I'm on about is from one of the other biggest bands to come out of England, and that is, of course, Motorhead with Ace of Spades. Now this is fantastic if you love a bit of metal with some hard rock, and it's got a bit of a punk feel to it, because a lot of punk rockers also love Motorhead. Show a bit of the back, the front again. I was going to get a Motorhead tattoo, but I didn't know if I wanted to get the logo of the beast on it. This one, you know, like ferocious beast, or this Ace of Spades symbol with either Ace of Spades going across it, or just that. Actually, it would be better with the Ace of Spades on it. Absolutely fantastic album. I'm gonna just say fantastic or brilliant from most of these albums, all of them actually. But this is for, sorry, my brush decided to fall down. There we go. Like I said, you want to start off with the early heavy metal. And here you go with Black Sabbath, Motorhead. There's Judas Priest as well, and the next band that I'll be showing you. So this album's 40 years old. 1980. Yeah, crazy. Absolutely crazy. Ace of Spades by Motorhead. Can't go wrong, can you? Next one, this is from 1984, and this is another great British heavy metal band. And they've been going since 1975. Motorhead's been going since the 70s as well. Black Sabbath been going since the 60s. Like I said, this album came out in 84, and it's by Iron Maiden, and it's Powerslave. Now, what can I say about this? It's a fantastic album. Again, I'm just repeating myself, because all the albums I've got here, I think they're brilliant. Well, for all the fans out there who have been into metal for a lot longer than I have, or around the same time as I have, might have a different opinion. But again, this is for people who are just getting into metal and they don't know where to start. So I'm just showing different options. This is one album that you can start with, or you can start with Seventh Son of the Seventh Son, Somewhere in Time, or Number of the Beast, Killers. Again, the list goes on with Iron Maiden's albums. But this is absolutely top notch, because I was listening to it the other day and I was like, wow, this is still brilliant. And of course, Ace is High, 2 Minutes to Midnight, fantastic songs. Everything's fantastic on here, brilliant stuff. Well, that's just me. You might have your own opinion. Well, because last song's like 13 minutes long. I thought, didn't think Iron Maiden did songs that long. I thought they did like maybe like to 3 to 4 minutes, maybe even 6 minutes long. But 13 minutes. Yeah, I like it because I listen to a lot of songs that are really long because there's one album that's like over an hour long, because the songs are like 30 odd minutes and the songs are for like 30 odd minutes or 40 odd minutes. But yeah, this Powerslave by Iron Maiden, and I got a mate named Elliot who's got a battle jacket with nothing but Iron Maiden on it, Iron Maiden patches. So it's for you, buddy. Powerslave by Iron Maiden, and the first album I bought was Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. Paranoid was the first album I bought by Black Sabbath, and Ace of Spades was the first album I bought by Motorhead. Can't go wrong with these three bands if you want to get into some British heavy metal. Depending where you're from, you want to get into heavy metal. It's like, oh, where do I start? You can either start in your own backyard, your own country, or you can expand your horizons and go around different countries and see what they have to offer. I don't just stick to my own backyard. I've gone everywhere, so I got a mixture of bands from the UK, Sweden, Switzerland, Canada, and also in my cupboard, which there's more CDs, which will be in other videos. Now I'm going to America with some thrash metal. I've got two thrash metal bands here. The first one I'm going to show you, this is also from 1984. One of the biggest American bands out there, along with the next one I'm going to show you. These guys have been going since 1981. This album came out in 1984. It came out after their first album, Kill Them All. A lot of you know who I'm on about. For those who don't know, well, this is Metallica and Ride the Lightning. Ride the Lightning. Just thought I'd say it, just make sure I didn't mess it up. But yeah, this is fantastic album. Again, I'm saying fantastic. You know, because these were the bands I heard first before I got into the next lot of bands I'm going to show you after this. But yeah, what else as I say, you've got songs like Fight Fire with Fire, Ride the Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls, which was the first song I learnt, and Fade to Black, you know, Call Cthulhu, Creeping Death, and Cliff Burton, the bassist who's on this one, Kill Them All, Ride the Lightning, and Master of Puppets. No longer with us, of course. Master of Puppets being the last one he recorded on. He's an awesome bass player. He's the reason I started playing bass a lot more, because I didn't want to play bass at first, but then I got more into it. And so I'm just sorting the stash. And yeah, Lemmy and I are a big part of my bass playing. Steve Harris as well. He's a butler. Yeah. Like I said, you want to start with some... Or you don't want to start with heavy metal. You want to start with some thrash. This is a thrash album, but it's got like some melodic elements to it as well, because Metallica started experimenting with that. So check out Ride the Lightning by Metallica, or you can go back to their first album, Kill Them All, or you can go to Master of Puppets and Justice for All, Black Album, or self-titled, but everyone calls it the Black Album, or you want to check out their later stuff. By all means, do what you want. I'm not saying just, oh, check out these bands just because. You make up your own mind. You want to listen to heavy metal or some thrash metal. And the next one is, this album's from 1986, and this band's been going around the same time as Metallica. I'm talking about one of the biggest thrash metal bands ever. And of course I got to see them on the last tour, like the tour that they were doing, because they're from in 2018 in Cardiff. Before that, on their last ever tour, and then last year at Download. And the first time I saw them was Download 2005. Of course, I'm talking about Slayer with Rain in Blood. Just head-banging, neck-breaking thrash. And of course, Jeff Hanneman there. He's no longer with us, and our legend that we've lost. So let me just go. Drinking this out in a Motorhead glass. Well, yeah, you want to get in the thrash. Got some death metal, grindcore, like new wave of American heavy metal, and aggressive death metal, folk metal. You know, a mix of heavy and melodic metal. But this is just, if you want ones that are going to make you headbang constantly and just partying really hard, just going like, yeah, then this is the song, this is the album. And also this song's for you, with Angel of Death, Rain in Blood, Piece by Piece, Necrophobic, Criminally Insane. Goes on, they got a lot of great songs from various great albums, like Show No Mercy and Hell Awaits and South of Heaven, and yeah, what else can I say? What else can I say? Seasons in, you know, one of their songs, Seasons in the Abyss, is a brilliant album. A brilliant song, even. But yeah, Rain in Blood from 1986 by Slayer. Some neck-breaking thrash. Also fantastic. Now I'm getting to the death metal, because this is the band that got me into death metal. At first I was like, maybe I'll just stick with what I'm already listening to. But then I heard it again and I was like, because the song was Hammer Smashed Face. And I was like, yeah. And then got more used to the vocals. Of course, I'm talking about the Buffalo, New York death metal band, Cannibal Corpse, and their 1996 album, Vile. Too Many Mutilated is the one that has Hammer Smashed Face, and there's Butchering at Birth and Eating Back to Life before that. And they've got various different albums, which I'm just like, should have written down on a bit of paper and I can read them all out, but I don't know how often this one's gotten shown on CD collection videos, so I thought I'd show it. Here's the back. It's a special edition release because it's got a DVD of them playing in 1997. Yeah. They've been one of my favourite death metal bands ever since, and then I found more death metal bands, and I've been listening to those death metal bands, but I still go back to Cannibal Corpse because I still love Cannibal Corpse. But yeah, so again, you don't want to get into thrash, you don't want to get into heavy metal, you don't want to get into some grindcore or black metal or new wave of American heavy metal, some progressive metal, folk metal, and just metal in general. Like, one of the bands I'm going to show you is like the musician who's done like he's done like really heavy stuff and really melodic stuff. Just pick what you want to listen to, and if you want to pick death metal, Cannibal Corpse. But go with the earlier stuff first. This is one of the earlier stuff as well, but like, because the first 4 albums has Chris Bonds, this one has Corpse Grinder Fisher, who's currently still in the band now. Seen these guys plenty of times, seen them out a couple of times here in Bristol, and I've seen them at Bloodstock the first time in 2010. Cannibal Corpse, Vile from 1996. They all reside in Florida now, or at least one of them was living there. I think Corpse Grinder moved there beforehand, I don't know. Because he used to be in a band called Monstrosity. Now the next one, I might as well get the other CDs here, and I'm going to show you. Get down to the last bit of the CDs, and I'll just show them like this. Next one, a Florida death metal band. Been around since 1983. This came out in 1989. Been a big part of the death metal scene in Florida for such a long time. Like I said, 1983. And of course, let's just get a bit closer. And the album that I'm going to show you is by Morbid Angel, and it's Altars of Madness. Altars of Madness is just, it's evil. It's evil, man. I mean, I've heard a lot of other evil death metal, but I think this was just evil before all the other albums. It's like, this was evil, and all of a sudden you heard like something from one of our death metal bands, like, wow, this is probably more evil than this. But Also, I'm trying like, oh, it's like going for like something like this, like an Altars of Madness, but there's only one, and it's this one. It's the back. Of course, Richard Bonnell is also gone. David Vincent, he's not in the band anymore. He's doing his own thing. Trey's still in the band. Pete's not in the band anymore. Continue on with one of the grindcore bands that I'll be showing you in a minute. Just making sure it's ready for you to look at. Actually, let me just get those close. There we go. Again, if you don't want to listen to Cannibal Corpse first, check out Morbid Angel. And for everyone that knows, this is a piece of artwork done by Stan Seagrave, and the artwork on Cannibal Corpse is Vincent Locke, who's been doing all that artwork. I think he's still doing it now. I know Dan Seagrave hasn't done much in the way of artwork in a while. Maybe he has. I'm gonna double check all this once I've done this. But yeah, Altars of Madness by Morbid Angel. After this was Blessed Are the Sick, then Covenant, Domination, Gateways to Annihilation, and Gateways of Annihilation. Oh man, what can I say about that album? Yeah, no, I think I got it right the first time. Gateways to Annihilation, or just for short, Gateways. But Altars of Madness, fantastic. I will be showing that album in another video, like my favourite death metal albums. Next one, this band's from here in the UK. They were a band from 1986 to 2016. And yeah, fantastic. This is like, it's death metal, but it's also a bit doomy as well, because they had that like really doomy sound. This is their fourth album. This is by Blackwater, and it's the Fourth Crusade. This is my favourite Blackwater album, and I'll tell you why. Because it's just amazing from start to finish. And the last song, which is Through the Ages, it's an outro. You got Carl, the vocalist, who's now in another band called Memoriam, which he formed with the ex-drummer from here, Andy. Man, he's just going for all the walls that happened from like the 900s all the way up to 91, because this album came out in 92. Yeah, 92. 92. I'm just looking. Yeah, August 1992. Or it was being recorded in August of 92. It got released in like September, something like that. Or it was released in August. You know, whoever's been into this band a lot longer, I've been into death metal a lot longer, I will probably tell you, probably remind me like, no, it was this year. Cool. Yeah, definitely check this one out. War Master, the one before that. Realm of Chaos, the one before that. And In Battle There Is No Law, which was the one before that. That was their first album, and then the first one from Earache, which is their second album, is Realm of Chaos. So I remember saying In Battle There Is No Law was their first, and then they said no, Realm of Chaos was. No, do not listen to someone who says no, Realm of Chaos was the first. No, is it Battle There Is No Law. But yeah, this one, fourth album, brilliant stuff. Just love that. Songs are there. Great old school British death metal. And now from that to some great old school Swedish death metal. Yeah, Fourth Crusade, Blackwater, pick it up. Might be getting the logo as a tattoo. I'm not sure yet. This is some Swedish death metal. It's from 1990. It was released on Earache Records along with Altars of Madness. And what can I say? They got me into Swedish death metal, and Blackwater got me into British death metal. Because I was like, what? I heard a lot of American bands. There's got to be some British death metal bands. Let's check my own back garden. So then I found out, I was like, oh, Blackwater, checked them out. Great. And for this one, Swedish death metal, along with a few other death metal bands from Sweden. But this one is Entombed with Left Hand Path. Left Hand Path. Wow. It's just hearing the guitar tones on this. Absolutely just filth. And I mean that in a good way. Because the guitar pedal that they use is the Boss HM2. Which they just turn up all the volume, the gain, everything on the pedal. And it's just got that horrible nasty, disgusting tone, which is what I love about Swedish death metal. It was this band, along with Dismember, that got me into Swedish death metal, and also along with Grave and Unleashed. I said Entombed then. Unleashed. But there's more Swedish death metal bands, and I'll be doing CD video on that. But yep, this. Yep, Earache Records. Everyone will be familiar with that. Unless you're on Earache Records now and you're like, listen to what they got there now. But then you're like, what have they released before that? Well, this and Altars of Madness and Boltfur. It's the CD. Yeah, don't ask me what that is because I have no idea. Yep, Left Hand Path. This is also a Dan Seagrave art piece. He done a lot of these for a lot of death metal bands. So check out his work. Just type Dan Seagrave on Google, and he's got a website with all his artwork to all the bands that he's done. And there's countless others, and I'll just do a video on all the bands that have Dan Seagrave artwork. So Left Hand Path by Entombed. It's great Swedish death metal. Go check out if you want to get into death metal in all three of the countries I've just mentioned. Now the next one is all the way in Norway. This is Norway, so next door to Sweden. And this is black metal. So you want to get into black metal. You're thinking, what bands are there? There's Mayhem, which is one of the bands that were getting me into black metal. But when I was going over it, I was like, it was this one that got me into black metal the most. And of course, I'm talking about Emperor with the album In the Nightside Eclipse. Just look at the camera like, know it. Nah. Yeah, I'm just gonna look at that artwork. Look at it. Flexion side. There we go. Blinking neck. There we are. And the back. Let me just get that in. Yeah. Some really great black metal from Norway, and it's very atmospheric as well. Got the same in 2014 at Bloodstock. There we go. What can I say? I will be doing more CD videos on black metal, so stay tuned for that. But this one, if you're going to start off with some black metal and you want someone that's heavy but also a bit heavy, sorry, let me phrase that. You want something that's heavy but also a bit atmospheric, or very atmospheric, because this album is. You want heavy and atmospheric. This album, In the Nightside Eclipse, by Emperor. Now I'm getting on to the grindcore. I'm coming back to my own country now, but this is in Birmingham. And Boltfur are Coventry. But you can say they're a Birmingham band because they played there a lot. At least I think half of them were living in Birmingham, or they're all from Coventry. Again, been a while since I looked up anything like this, but one video will be British death metal, and I'm just going to write down a lot of things saying like this. Of course, Boltfur, before I got into the next band, had a different singer named Alan, and then he left, and then they got Carwin, they went on John Peel, like a lot of the British death metal bands were. Little British metal bands, rock bands, like bands all over the place. This band as well, the next one I'm going to show you. If you're familiar with the album Scum, then you know who I'm on about. Harmony Corruption, countless, like, I thought to name two earlier ones. But this is the second album from 1988 by grindcore legends Napalm Death with From Enslavement to Obliteration. Now, what can I say about this that hasn't already been said? It's fast, it's aggressive, it's just bonkers. I don't think that's been said. Bonkers. There's the band. That's an old lineup because that's Mick Harris. He's not in the band anymore and has been credited of creating the blast beat. Lee Dorian, a lot of you know because of Cathedral, which is doom metal. So if you want to get the doom, maybe check out his band, or there's another one called Candlemass. And Black Sabbath you can call doom metal as well, because they had that doom sound and obviously the blues sound. Bill Steer joined Napalm Death for a while, but then continued on with Carcass, which is still going today. And there's Shane Emery, who's still in the band today. So he's been in the band since 1987, and this was the first album he appeared on. Because he wasn't on the first album, that was Mick with two different lineups. Justin Baldrick from Godflesh being one of them. On the A side, which is a bit more of a sort of like hardcore punk sort of album. And then you got the more metal side with the B side. Like I said, they show all the British bands, death metal, thrash metal, grindcore, black metal, doom metal, whatever. Just mix it up. And just got a ton of messages now. Great. So, from Same to Obliteration. A lot of people are probably thinking, into Napalm Death, why didn't you show Scum? I love Scum. I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to show that in the British CD collection video. Like, next part will be like, it'll be like British, American, Swedish, Finnish. This goes on, but I thought to myself, Scum's one of my favourite albums, but this is my favourite album by theirs. Definitely. My favourite one, which has Lee on it. I love Scum because it's a mixture of punk and metal. This one's just straight up just dirtiness. So if you want some dirtiness from 1988, Napalm Death from Same to Obliteration and Scum. Next one, American Grindcore. This was also put on Earache Records. This Napalm Death were on Earache Records, and then went to Central Media. Entombed, I think, was still on Earache when I know they were still on there when they did Clandestine and Wolverine Blues. I think they left after that. And people who know there's like, Wolverine Blues. Yeah, that was cool. So I'm like, nah, I didn't like it too much. That's fine. If anyone else is like, I might want to check it out, by all means, check it out. This one's, like I said, American. This has David Vincent from Morbid Angel, Pete Sandoval from Morbid Angel, Jesse from Napalm Death, and Oscar from Nausea. So you all know, like, I know, Nausea. So I'm like, the crust punk band. No, I'm on about the death metal grindcore band, or just straight up grindcore. And this is Terrorizer with World Downfall. This is from 1989, same year as Altars of Madness. Now this is the album that they got together and recorded, and then he didn't do much shows after that because obviously Jesse went on to Napalm Death. He's another legend who's no longer with us. There he is. There's Oscar, David, Pete. So Dave asked Pete, do you want to join Morbid Angel? And went on to Morbid Angel and watched Slave to the Grind. If you watched the Grindcore documentary, Slave to the Grind. Yeah, there's a bit of ugliness around that time with them. But I'm not going to go into it. This album is absolutely fantastic. It's brilliant. It's just amazing grindcore. You want some great grindcore and you're not sure where to go, and then go with Napalm Death, Terrorizer. There's a ton of grindcore bands now. But if you want some early grindcore, then Napalm Death and Terrorizer. Or Downfall. That artwork. Got a t-shirt of this as well. And I love this album. One of my favourites. So Terrorizer, World Downfall. Now, getting on to the last CDs here, so I'll get these two over here. As I said, I had 20 CDs. I'm already halfway through. I'm like my 10 CDs left. I've got 10 CDs left, maybe 9. I'm thinking I've just picked up these two. I'll recount after I showed these two. This is a progressive metal band from Sweden. Sweden's got all sorts. They do heavy stuff, melodic stuff. So this band's heavy and melodic. The vocalist was in Bloodbath, but this is his main band. And the first song I heard by him is a song called The Grand Conjuration from Ghost Reveries. Need to get that right. And this is my all-time favourite by them. The band I'm on about is Opeth. And of course, Blackwater Park. Anyway. If you're into Opeth and you've heard this album, some will be like, nah, I don't like it. I'll be like, oh yeah, it's my favourite too. It's my favourite. It's my favourite Opeth record. And I'll tell you why. Because it's heavy and it's also melodic. And one of the songs on here, Harvest, is like... It's just a more acoustic type song. You got the drums and guitars and that. Well, it's just more guitar. With a little bit of drums. I'm going to actually re-listen to Harvest and just like... With obviously my drink and just like... Wow. Anyway, just like, wow, this is amazing. But yeah, Opeth, Blackwater Park. If you want to get into heavy and melodic, you want to hear something with grows and cleans, then Akafel. Let me do that again. I said that too fast. Akafel, who's the vocalist and guitarist, does both brilliantly. And my word, it's just a fantastic album. It just takes you to another place. With all these albums, they take you to another place. It takes you out of this horrible shitness that is this pandemic. Absolutely, just takes you away from it. Just takes you from just the outside world, because it's not good, is it? But yeah, Opeth, Blackwater Park, my all-time favourite album. Can't go wrong with Opeth. Nor this one. So I'm going from Sweden to Switzerland. Now, Switzerland's got a great metal scene. I haven't been to Switzerland yet, but I've been to Sweden. Went last year for Scandinavia Death Fest, and I'll talk a bit more about that on here. So, because I did a live stream on Facebook. This band's from, like I said, Switzerland. They're folk metal. So if you want metal and you want folk, you're like, if they're a folk music fan, but like, I'm not a big fan of metal, but if they hear this, like, oh, I actually do like it. Or if you're like, yeah, I like it, because I'm in a folk metal band myself, which I'll talk about another time. This band is Helveti, and this is our album, Selena, or Selena, Selena, however you pronounce it. Yeah, Helveti. This is a really great album. I mean, wow. Yeah, 2008 is the year I got into them, actually, and that's when this album came out. I just love the artwork, because you've got the mountains there, grass, and you got this little girl there with a massive sword. So it's like, don't underestimate her, because she's probably the daughter of a fierce Viking warrior or any other type of warrior. She'll just chop your legs off. Chop your arms off, and you look like the Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So I'm just in my chair. So don't mess with her. But this album, yeah, Innis Mona is my favourite track from it. I also love Selena's song. I mean, if anyone calls it Selena, then that's fair enough. Or you call it